Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me thank the panel for their testimony today. I'm very proud that New Jersey has had a paid family leave program in place since 2009, in addition to a longstanding temporary disability program. Both programs offer individuals partial income for up to 6 weeks. Our paid family leave program can be used to either bond with a newborn or care for a loved one, and our disability insurance program can be used in relationship to a pregnancy or personal illness and injury. So that means that across New Jersey, thousands of new moms and dads can care for a newborn baby, a parent can care for a critically ill child, a spouse can care for a spouse, or a child for an elderly mother or father. And there are thousands of people who are seriously sick or injured who can take care of themselves and recover rather than going to work sick. That includes people like Giselle from Maywood, who was able to use New Jersey's paid family leave program to supplement what her company offered and spend a full 12 weeks recovering from childbirth and bonding with her newborn. And then there's Layla from Jersey City, who used New Jersey's disability insurance to pay her bills while recovering from surgery. So I could go on with examples, but what matters is that New Jersey families, and this is why I think the subject matter at hand here, which I care so much about, can care for a loved one or recover from illness without worrying about paying the bills. Because that's truly an awful choice to have to make. Do I go to work to put food on the table? Or do I care for a loved one when he or she needs me the most? Do I make sure that my rent is paid? Or do I recover from surgery? So I'm proud that no New Jerseyan has to make this awful choice. I personally am a co-sponsor of Senator Gillibrand's Family Act, that I think would strengthen and support states like New Jersey that have existing paid leave and temporary disability programs. So, Ms. Szabo, I wonder if you could elaborate for me and New Jersey families how the passage of the Family Act would actually improve upon New Jersey's existing system and other states that may have such legislation in place.
Sure, and yes, congratulations to New Jersey. It'll be celebrating a decade soon, and is looking to expand its law in the legislature right now, which is a sign of the program's success and ways that it can be improved. What the Family Act would do most immediately for the constituents in your state would mean that an older person who needs care, who has a child who lives out of state, that child would be able to come and care for their parent, even though the child doesn't live in New Jersey and isn't covered by New Jersey's paid leave law. So creating a national program sets a baseline that means that every single person that is working would be able to take time to care for a loved one if they're living in the same state as their parent or in somewhere else. The Family Act would add on New Jersey's program by providing additional weeks and by raising the cap on wage replacement. And we know that that's so important for getting men involved. One of the great successes of California is because it has a higher wage cap. It's increased men's leave taking by more than 200%. We've seen some increase in New Jersey, but some of the constraints of New Jersey's law haven't had quite as good an impact. So this would absolutely improve New Jerseyans' experiences, whether they are a care recipient or a caregiver.
Now let me ask you, are we the only industrialized country in the world that doesn't guarantee some form of paid leave?
We absolutely are. It is us and Papua New Guinea and a few other small island nations that don't have paid maternity leave. We don't. With other high wealth countries, we stand out as not providing paid medical leave as well.
Now, I have seen some reports that suggest that costs families in our country about $20 billion a year. Is that some estimates that you have seen?
That's correct. $20.6 billion, I believe it is.
Okay.
And it's costing our economy in terms of women's labor force participation an estimated $500 billion a year. Because women
it also creates a situation, isn't it fair to say, that too many women get stuck in low-wage jobs?
Absolutely. So women are more likely to leave their workplace or to cut their hours, and that's just the cycle of that sticky floor that Senator Gillibrand was talking about.
Isn't it also an opportunity to create a more level playing field for small businesses so that can actually compete with the talent that the Googles and the Facebooks are able to afford?
Absolutely, and that's one of the reasons that small businesses support paid family leave as the Family Act would propose. And New Jersey businesses themselves have had no negative impact, often say that New Jersey's program has had a positive impact on them, especially small businesses.
And finally, so if companies like Deloitte and other significant companies know that paid family leave is good for profits, good for employee retention, good for productivity, good for morale, it should be good for anybody else.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.